mum has told of her horror as her son was left dead in the street for hours during the Cardiff riots. Belinda Sullivan, 42, begged rioters to stop as she tried to get to her son Carice, 16, who was one of the teens tragically killed in the crash sparking unrest in Ely, Cardiff, on Monday night. Rumours Carice and his friend Harvey Evans, 15, were being chased by officers before the collision quickly spread through the community via social media, causing fury at cops. Violence erupted on the residential street shortly after, with yobs torching cars and pelting police with rocks and flaming missiles. Heartbreak. Posting on Facebook last night, Belinda told of how her son lay on the floor surrounded by thugs, who blocked her from being able to take him to hospital. The heartbroken mum said, "My son is still laying on the floor due to this riot. I'm sat at home heartbroken. There are 2 families broken right now. I just want to see my son and I can't because of this riot that has happened. Please, I beg you all to stop and let my son be moved to hospital so I can see him. We need to see our sons." Shared over 2,500 times, the post was filled with tributes. One person commented, "My heart is breaking for you all. I'm so sorry that you're going through this." Another said, "Belinda, I'm so sorry for your loss, darling, sending loads of hugs and love." A third shared their condolences, adding, so sorry for your loss, Belinda. So heartbreaking, thinking of you XXX. Floral tributes have been left at the scene this morning by locals paying their respects. One heartfelt note read, "To my little brothers. I love you both like family." The 2 boys were believed to have been on a scooter or off-road bike when they were tragically killed. Dozen officers injured. The Crime Commissioner for South Wales this morning denied there had been any sort of pursuit before the fatal smash. Aileen Michael told BBC Radio 4's Today programme, "My understanding is that there was a road traffic accident involving 2 teenagers on an off-road bike or scooter and sadly, they died. That's an incident obviously that is being investigated in its own right. And that appears to have sparked, for reasons that aren't clear, the disorder." A dozen officers were also injured in the riots amid 15-feet-high flames. Mr. Michael added, "Fortunately, none of them life-threatening, and the connection between the 2 is far from clear. So obviously there's going to be investigations going on this morning to try and establish what happened. People will be brought to account for the violence. Obviously very frightening for local people. And there were a lot of calls to the police expressing concern about what was going on. My understanding is that those missiles were thrown at the police and about a dozen officers were injured. None of them life-threatening, fortunately, but of course, there's a lot of luck involved in that." Officers were mobilized to the area and there was support from neighboring forces. Rubbishing claims of a chase, he added, "It would appear that there were rumors, and those rumors became rife, of a police chase, which wasn't the case, and I think it illustrates the speed with which rumors can run around with the activity that goes on social media nowadays, and that events can get out of hand." Appalling scenes. In chaotic scenes live-streamed on YouTube, a baying mob cheers as explosives are hurled and paving slabs are lobbed at officers wearing shields, helmets and body armor. The local force said they received multiple calls from frightened residents terrified by the actions of the thugs who had taken over the streets. Downing Street said the scenes in Cardiff were appalling and completely unacceptable. The Prime Minister's official spokesman said, "The reports of disorder, violence, arson, and specifically attacks on police officers are appalling and unacceptable. We remain grateful to the emergency services and first responders for all their support to the community and restoring order." Residents were spotted throwing the explosives at officers as the chaos broke out on Highmead Road. Some were heard shouting, "Light it up," as cars, wheelie bins, and rubbish were set alight. Dozens of youths remained into the night, many covering their faces. Men were also seen ripping off their t-shirts to shield their identities as fires raged near them. Police, including mounted officers on horseback, were seen outside Ely Police Station in the early hours after suggestions it could be targeted. It's understood the chaos was still going on around 3 a.m. on Tuesday morning. A clean-up operation is since underway. Anyone with information about the collision or the disorder is asked to contact the force quoting 220-016-6555. The family were too upset to speak when approached by the Sunday. Locals were seen throwing fireworks at cops.